Unacceptable. Last night was completely unacceptable. And I don't want to hear the excuses. There is no excuse to be made here. In the year 2023, 2 months away from 2024, there is absolutely no reason that you can give me that can explain away what happened last night. I never had this problem with Fox Sports. I never had this problem when Fox was handling regional coverage for the NBA. We got home last night around 7:30 after a very, very long day. It was a good day though. The girls, they won both of their quarterfinal playoff games in flag football. Semifinals are going to be next week. Hopefully, they are going to be held at home. I am really proud of these girls, though. The high school, it just started the flag football program this year. Teams already competing for the state championship, and I think they're the favorites to win it. But anyway, get home last night about 7:30. After I shower, I pull up my Bally Sports app to launch the Pelicans broadcast. Now, I had every intention of watching the game from beginning to end. Pull up the app on my TV. It's asking me to log in again. Okay. Try to log in. Failed. Change my password. Failed. Try to log in on my computer. Failed. Phone. Failed. What the hell's going on here? I try to contact customer service, which, by the way, customer service across the board has completely gone to shit in this country. None of these major corporations actually care about the customers. If you happen to find a phone number, you're speaking to some useless bot. If you're lucky enough to talk to someone who has the ability to breathe without the assistance of an air compressor, you find yourself talking to some dude named Dawood living in Pakistan. Now, I've got nothing against Dawood. I know he's just trying to work and support his family, but he can't do shit for me over in Pakistan. When I call customer service here in America, I'm expecting to speak to Bob. Give me John. Give me Kendrick. Hell, give me Kamala. Let our pretend vice president help me out. I try to contact Bally customer service. Of course, no phone number is provided. God forbid they have to assist an angry customer who pays them $160 every year for their garbage platform. My only options were to chat online or through text message. So, I do both. The Bally website, it assures me that send us a text, we promise to respond immediately. Yeah. Been about 18 hours since I sent that text. I still have not received a response. I get on Twitter to see if others are having the same problem that I am. I see this message from Bally Sports. Due to issues with our service provider, we are experiencing a nationwide blackout. We apologize for the inconvenience. Thank you for allowing us to rip you off. We suggest you go get fucked. Issues with your service provider? You are the service provider. You've got one job. You have one responsibility. I give you $20 every month. You broadcast the Pelicans games. All of them. And you can't even do that right. Now, it would be one thing if this were a one-off incident. It would be one thing if Bally offered this amazing platform and they had some technical difficulties last night, just for one night only. Now, I would still be aggravated. I would still be upset in the moment, but I would get over it. I would understand. But this is not a one-off. This is a consistent issue with Bally Sports. And since the NBA is directly affiliated with Bally Sports, that makes this an embarrassing issue for the NBA. Like I said, this is completely unacceptable. There were thousands and thousands of people on social media last night crucifying the NBA over this, and rightfully so. Last week, Adam Silver gave an interview to Yahoo Sports about the future of NBA broadcasting. Right now, the NBA is at a crossroads. Adam Silver's in a tough spot here. All the other major sports leagues, they are locked into their current broadcast deals for the foreseeable future. The NBA, they begin negotiations for their next broadcast deal in April. Now, this is not your typical negotiation where you're just trying to get as much money as you can from the television networks. Adam Silver has to make a decision here. Do I want to stick with the status quo, or do I want to lead the NBA into the future? Because the status quo, it ain't working. After setting near record low ratings on opening night last week, the NBA, they were able to bounce back nicely. Every game that was broadcast nationally on TNT or ESPN surpassed 2 million viewers, which is great. That's great. But these ratings are not even close to what the NBA was drawing 5 or 10 years ago. That's okay. That's okay. The great Adam Silver, he has successfully identified the problem. After years of brainstorming, after years of painstaking research, Adam Silver has identified the reason that the NBA is struggling to grow their audience. Our league, more than any other, has been negatively impacted by cord cutting. Our young audience doesn't have access to cable, so they can't find all of our games. Cord cutting. We're going to fall back on this same tired excuse of cord cutting again. Now, has cord cutting had some impact on NBA ratings? Sure, but that is not the reason that you are struggling to grow your fan base. Fans being unable to find NBA games, that is not the reason either. It has never been easier to find NBA games. A simple Google search, it'll tell me exactly where I need to go to watch an NBA game. You know who's stopping me? You know who's standing in my way? The fucking NBA. This league makes it damn near impossible to watch their product. If I want to watch the Detroit Lions, you know what I can do? I can pay for NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube, have access to every single NFL game of the season. If I want to be cheap, I can pay the $5 or $10 a month for NFL Red Zone, watch portions of the game on their platform. Can't do that with the NBA. Last night, my Pelicans were on NBA TV, so the entire country could watch them collapse against the Golden State Warriors. I do want to give the Warriors credit, though, because they did prove something last night. They proved that there is not a team in this league that can win a game when it's 5-on-8. Now, Steph Curry, he's hard to beat when it's 5-on-5, and to be completely fair, the way that Steph Curry was shooting last night, there was no way the Pelicans were winning that game. But the game would have been a lot closer if the Pelicans didn't have to play the Warriors and NBA officials. The officiating completely changed the momentum of that game. But it is the Pelicans' fault for letting NBA officials cause them to lose their composure. But when I realized that Bally was completely useless last night, I turned on my satellite to watch the game on NBA TV. I turned to channel 156, it's blacked out. I received the nice message of, this game is not available in your area. Why? If people on the Gulf Coast can't watch their team on national TV, how are they supposed to build a fan base? This team is so important to me that I was willing to pay for League Pass. My thinking was, I'll just cancel Bally. They're useless anyway. I'll use that money for League Pass. Through the course of the season, I'm spending the same amount of money. And with League Pass, I can watch every NBA game instead of just having access to the Pelicans. I go to purchase League Pass on the NBA website. I see this note about blackout restrictions. I click on the note. I come to the quick realization that not only will I not have access to the Pelicans, I am also restricted from watching the Atlanta Hawks and the Memphis Grizzlies. Again, why? You know what I had to do last night just to watch my Pelicans? I had to illegally stream the game. Isn't that outrageous? I am 6 hours away from Memphis and Atlanta. 6 hours. What purpose does it serve to black out their games? According to Yahoo Sports, the NBA claims to be prepared to take over production and distribution if the regional model with Bally Sports doesn't work out. Well, I'm here to tell you, it ain't working out. The time to take over is now. This is a massive, massive problem for the NBA. I think this is one of the main reasons that the league is struggling to grow their fan base. How can you grow your audience when you're not giving fans access to their local teams? How can you build a fan base in New Orleans when you're blacking out your broadcast? Well, KC, they want fans to attend the games in person. Yeah, let me tell you the problem with that antiquated thinking. Number one, the Smoothie King Center. It can only hold about 16,000 people. You're restricting access to millions of people trying to get 16,000 into the arena. Number two, the NBA generates far more revenue from broadcasting than it does from ticket sales. Last year, over 30% of the league's revenue, it came from broadcast deals with TNT and ESPN. Now, that number does not include Bally Sports. If it did, I would imagine that number would be closer to 40%. Ticket sales, 21%. And three, When you black out games on television, it doesn't make people want to go out and buy tickets to go to the arena. You know what happens when you black out local games? It makes people not give a shit about your league. And that is exactly what is happening to the NBA. I have been saying this for years now. The NBA is at war with its own fan base. In what business does it make financial sense to make your product not accessible to your customer? Does that make sense to you? You know why there is a McDonald's on every corner? Accessibility. There are 2 McDonald's within a 5-mile radius of my house. There are dozens scattered throughout the city. Now imagine if McDonald's said, we are going to serve your community by only having one location 60 miles outside of town in an area with a population of 50. How long would McDonald's stay in business? I'm telling you, the NBA does not care about you. They don't care about their fan base. I'll give you another example. About an hour before the game last night, I received a notification on my phone that says, Brandon Ingram will not play tonight against the Golden State Warriors. Oh, nice. Why? What the hell happened between Saturday and Monday? I saw Brandon Ingram Saturday night. Dude looked great. Why is he not playing tonight? Oh, it's right knee soreness. What? Right knee soreness? Right knee soreness. Every player in the league is sore. From what I have been told, and I don't know if this is true or not, but allegedly, the Pelicans medical staff, they cleared Brandon Ingram to play last night. He decided on his own that he was not going to play. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but if that is true, how is that possible? Are you allowed to tell your boss that you just don't feel like working? How long would you be employed? Hey boss, I can't work today. My ass is sore from all this ass sitting. I've got a headache today. I don't feel well. Temperatures dropped overnight. It's 40 degrees outside. Winds blowing 20 miles an hour. Yesterday was a long day. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Today is one of those days where I could come up with every excuse not to be here. Yet, here I am. Why? Because I'm dedicated to this channel. I'm dedicated to this audience. There is no such thing as missing days because I have a headache. And that has nothing to do with money. I can afford to miss days. I don't. NBA players do not have that same mentality. Last night was the first time in almost 3 years that Steph Curry has played a game in New Orleans. Now the Warriors, they're here twice a year. That means Steph Curry, he has missed 6 opportunities to play in New Orleans. Now I didn't check every reason. I'm sure some games were missed due to the legitimate injury, but I know for a fact that there were a couple of instances, one of them last year, where Steph Curry didn't play because he had to rest. This league does not care about its fan base. They just don't care. This week, I started rewatching The Last Dance on Netflix again. I mean, I've seen this documentary so many times, I can just about recite it word for word. But this morning, I'm listening to Ahmad Rashad talk about Michael Jordan. I think this was the 97-98 season. The Bulls were playing a preseason game overseas. I think it was in France. It was a meaningless game. It was an exhibition. Michael Jordan played 38 minutes. 38 minutes in a game that meant nothing. And he played hard for those 38 minutes. Ahmad Rashad said it didn't matter if it was the NBA Finals or the NBA preseason. Michael was always going to give 100%. His mentality was, there is a kid in this arena that has never seen me play before, and I owe it to him to give him my best. Later on, they are interviewing Michael Jordan, talking about his mentality, asking about his mentality. He echoed the same sentiment. He said, if you are going to spend 2 hours of your day watching me play on TV, I owe it to you to give you my best performance. Where is that mentality in today's NBA? Who has it? You tell me one player in this league that has that same mentality of Michael Jordan, just one. Reggie Miller, he played over 80 games 11 times in his 18-year career. You know how many times Reggie Miller played less than 65 games? Once. One time, 18 years. Where is that mentality today? These guys are making more money than ever, and they're playing less than ever. For years now, This league has been taking advantage of their fan base. Players don't play, they restrict fans' access to games, and then Adam Silver wonders why the NBA is not growing. I wonder why. But give me your thoughts. NBA is humiliated last night with Bally Sports having a nationwide shutdown with a full slate of games on the schedule. Adam Silver blames the lack of growth in the NBA on cord cutting. Me personally, I am tired of hearing that excuse. NFL hadn't been affected by cord cutting. Yellowstone, when they were on the Paramount Network, they weren't affected by cord cutting. NHL, they seem to be growing their audience on cable. I think the NBA is to blame for the lack of growth in the NBA. This league is at war with its own customers. Prove me wrong about it. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. I appreciate your guys and your continued support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com. Follow me on Twitter at kc_btl84, and I'll see you guys later.